Code red for humanity. That is just one sobering assessment from the United Nations in a new report on climate change. Scientists say the natural disasters we've seen all over the world will become more severe and more frequent as the planet approaches a crucial breaking point. Global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius, faster than what we thought.
The heat wave in Canada, fires in California, floods in Germany, floods in China, droughts in central Brazil make it very, very clear that climate extremes is having a very heavy toll in the socioeconomic system.
Well, the report, the first of its kind since 2013, details how the climate is changing faster than previously thought. It warns that some trends like warming oceans and melting glaciers are already irreversible. And only urgent action to cut carbon emissions, not tomorrow but today, can prevent further consequences. CNN's chief climate correspondent Bill Weir is following the story, joining us now. Bill, good to have you on the program. So the report is clearly staggering some of the findings, and it has found that even if we take action, some of the damage already done means the planet will warm by 1.5 degrees Celsius in the next 2 decades.
Yes, Lynda, they moved that assessment up by a decade since the last predictions were even made in 2018, that it's happening faster and the results are more serious. But yes, even the rosiest picture, and this not only takes the latest cutting edge satellite science and supercomputer modeling, it also plays out possible paths based on the politics, whether nations dig in and go business as usual, or whether they can work together on the greenest path. Of those 5 there, it tells you how bad things could get. And on the rosiest path, we'll hit that 1.5 degrees Celsius red line that countries hope to avoid at Paris. Now they'll take this report. It's been signed off on by 195 countries, enemies and allies alike, after 8 years of haggling over the language. That will be the basis for the next set of climate summits coming up in Glasgow in a couple of months, and then maybe in courtrooms as more litigants try to sue big fossil fuel companies for damage done that they knew would come due to internal memos that really had been predicting this same science. There's nothing new in this, Lynda, but what is new is the stark certainty of it.
So, Bill, it baffles me that there are still climate deniers and there are still people in a camp that say, well, the climate's changing, but it's not because of humans. What does this report say to them?
Well, unfortunately, just like the COVID virus and vaccine, it's become politicized. So folks who may believe that, I'm sure, are swimming and marinating in the kind of stories from the media source or politicians that are in the interest of denying it, in the interest of fossil fuel status quo. So I try to meet folks like that with a little more empathy and understand where they get their news or where they came from and find something common that you can bond around. Everybody has something that they see slipping away that's worth protecting. And that ultimately is what it'll come down to. We've reached this point of the story, I think, where we're moving into the psychology of this enormity, that things will change dramatically for better or worse. To stave off the worst effects of this report tells us we have to act rapidly around the world in a unified way that we haven't seen since world wars, and even exceeding that. It's a moonshot really on 190 countries at the same time. So that will change everything we know about building and transportation and food. But if we do nothing, the costs will be unfathomable.
Exactly. We all need to take action on a local level, national level, global level. Bill Weir, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
One striking example of what climate change is doing to the planet right now can be found in northern Iran. A dying lake is now merely a fraction of its former size, and the ecosystem around it is decimated. Fred Pleitgen has this exclusive report.
From a lush natural paradise to a dry, salty desert, global warming is literally evaporating what once was the largest lake in the entire Middle East, Lake Urmia in Iran, the 6th largest salt lake in the world. All around Lake Urmia, you can see the impact of the global climate emergency on the communities here, on the people, their livelihoods, and of course also their future. The authorities tell us today Lake Urmia is less than half the size of what it used to be. The shrinkage is due in part to dam projects around here, but mostly due to years of severe drought as our planet gets hotter. Ahad Ahmadi was a tourist photographer on the boardwalk in what used to be the beach resort Sharaf Khaneh. Believe it or not, this photo was only taken in 1995, when tourists still flocked here, he says. People would come here for swimming and would use the mud for therapeutic purposes. They would stay here for several days, he says. The ferry boats many used to cross the lake now lay stranded on the salty crust, slowly rusting away. This Google Maps animation shows just how fast Lake Urmia has shrunk, going from 5,400 square kilometers in size to just 2,500 in about 30 years. Lack of rain and water shortages are a problem all across Iran. Precipitation in Iran is down by more than 50% this year, according to the country's Center for Drought and Crisis Management. Severe lack of water recently led to protests, some violent, in the southwest of the country. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei saying he understands the protesters and that their issues must be addressed. Iran's new president saying he has understood the message. The matters have been detected, and I assure the people that the solutions have been delineated, and we have benefited from the views of experts and scholars, and this will urgently be dealt with, he said. At Lake Urmia, water shortage is not the only problem. The dusty, salty ground left behind when the lake receded led to salt storms, causing eye infections and respiratory problems for people around here. The local Environmental Protection Agency planted these bushes, which they say mostly succeeded in stopping the worst effects. As the bushes grow here, they have more leaves, and the moving sand gets trapped inside, he says, so it acts as a trap which keeps the sand underneath it. Iranian authorities say they've made saving Lake Urmia a priority, and that a halt to new dam projects and diverting other water sources towards the lake have at least slowed its decline. But farmer Kumars Pourjebeli shows me his main concern. The water he's able to get from his well is very salty, killing off many of the buds on his tomato vines and slowly causing his walnut trees to wither. The day the soil will become unfarmable is not far away, he says. When you water the earth to a depth of 110 centimeters, it infiltrates the soil, and the salt will stay there, and its level increases every year. And the salt concentration in Lake Urmia is dramatically increasing as the water body shrinks. Microorganisms that flourish in salty water have dyed much of what's left of the lake in a reddish-pink color. The deputy head of this province's Environmental Protection Agency tells me he believes there are now about 6 billion tons of salt around the lake. Still, he says he's confident they can stop the lake from drying up. Pausing all dam construction projects has been very effective, he says, but some of the rivers that feed the lake were full of sediment, so the water didn't reach all the way to here. We've cleaned up the riverbeds to increase the water inflow. Those measures are making a big difference, the authorities say, but they are also under no illusion. What they urgently need here is more rain to stop Lake Urmia, a natural treasure of this region, from vanishing into thin and salty air. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Urmia, Iran.
Well, experts say the wildfires blazing across Europe this summer are another sign that climate change is having a devastating impact. More than 1,000 firefighters from around the world are helping Greece battle dozens of wildfires. Russian crews pitched in on Sunday to help douse flames by air over the island of Evia, north of Athens. The fires are happening amid the country's worst heat wave in more than 3 decades. CNN correspondent Eleni Giokos is in Evia, Greece, first with more on this crisis. And Eleni, we have seen this international effort to try and bring these fires under control, but also there are plenty of locals doing whatever they can to help. Yeah. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been at the site for hours, Linda. They've been trying to put out fires that have been raging in, I'm talking about pristine forest. And we've seen helicopters and firefighters trying to douse the flame. This has spread. It has literally decimated an entire hill, as you can see. And you can also hear the trees burning and being incinerated. If this fire spreads, locals tell me, it will then run wild into a very important part of Evia. Now, half of the village, according to official numbers, has been burnt. Pristine forest, and a lot of the locals tell me that they rely on the forest for income, from fig trees to other plantations, honey, and the likes of resin as well. You've seen youth coming out in droves, holding water bottles and fire extinguishers to try and assist the official firefighting crew. But they also say that this has now been burning for 7 days in a row, and they say that while the international help is absolutely welcome, they say it's just too late. The damage has been done, and they also feel that there was a bigger focus on other fires closer to Athens and in other parts of the country, and Evia was left behind. Hundreds of people have been evacuated. Some we found staying in their homes close to blazes because they want to protect their properties, but it's devastating. People are in shock. You also have a heat wave. It is extremely hot in Greece. For the past week, they had record temperatures of over 45 degrees, numbers that we haven't seen in over 30 years, directly linked to climate change, that exacerbating the situation. But one local told me, said, the only good thing here is that there isn't a strong wind, so that at least is helping contain the spread. But honestly, we've been driving around and just seeing how many active fires there are. Lynda, it is extraordinary to see just how much work still needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely devastating. Eleni Giokos, good to have you there for us in Evia, Greece. Take care. Thank you.